this is a season like no other.
Unbelievable start from Hamilton.
It's just insane.
Oh, they touched! Verstappen is into the lead. Come on!
Across the grid, we're seeing F1 cars go on a serious diet. New rules for 2022, with the introduction of larger wheels and an increased use of standard parts, have left some struggling to get down to a new minimum weight limit of 798 kilograms. Every gram over that weight limit is time lost on the track, and some teams are starting to get desperate. Just how desperate? Well, stick around to find out. Formula One teams are facing all new technical challenges this season, with innovative solutions required to gain a competitive advantage over rivals. However, the eagle-eyed of those watching the 2022 F1 cars take to the track in the first few races of the season may have spotted some interesting changes in the cars' liveries. Several teams have made the bold decision to remove paint from their cars, with some cars sporting a reduction of as much as a quarter of their paint. Williams, Aston Martin, McLaren, Alpine and Red Bull are all displaying bare carbon fiber sections in areas such as the front wing, side pods, engine cover and rear wing. But why is it so important for these teams to reduce the car's weight? Well, a little bit of science explains it really simply. Newton's second law of motion states that the acceleration of an object is dependent upon two variables: the net force acting upon the object and the mass of the object. As the force acting on an object is increased, the acceleration of the object is increased. As the mass of an object is increased, the acceleration of the object is decreased. The force acting on a car is created by its engine. So the teams could improve their car's acceleration by improving their engines. Unfortunately for them though, that can't happen currently as the engines are under a development freeze. So teams are instead trying to reduce the mass of their cars by stripping the paint off them. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but every little bit helps. In terms of the F1 cars this season, there is a general rule that 10 kilograms of weight is worth about 0.3 seconds of lap time. You might think, 0.3 seconds? That's nothing. But when you turn that 0.3 seconds a lap into a 63 lap race, such as we had at Imola, you get 18.9 second deficit to a car that weighs 10 kilograms less than you. These 18.9 seconds of lap time you lost with a difference between finishing first and third at Imola, so it's a pretty huge deal. There is of course a legal minimum the cars have to be above, 798 kilograms this season, but every team will be looking to get that exact weight if they can. Zak Brown, the McLaren team boss, explained just how desperate teams were to shed weight. With the halo, the bigger tyres, the longer cars, we were all overweight. I think all but maybe one team. When you're overweight, you do everything you can to save anything you can, and it's all incremental. Brown said some sponsorship deals, such as McLaren's with Google's Android, had accelerated the process of stripping paint. Our engine cover was initially papaya, but that was before we landed Google as a partner. We took the opportunity. Hey, you want black? Fantastic, he said. We didn't modify anything that wasn't kind of in line with our brand or what a partner wanted, but it saves some weight. Not a lot, but it's about finding a little bit in a lot of different places. The paint on a Formula One car weighs around 6 kilograms, according to Alfa Romeo team manager Beat Zander. According to law, the original 1930s Mercedes Silver Arrows acquired their nickname when the cars raced with bare aluminium bodies after the team removes lead-based paint to shave off a kilo and come in under maximum weight. Williams have gone a step further than the rest of the grid though. Williams engineering chiefs sounded out the Formula One team's marketing department to see if they could strip all the paint off the current car to help save weight. When asked about whether they would take off all the paint if they could, the team's head of vehicle performance, Dave Robson, said, "Of course, absolutely," he smiled. However, while a completely stripped back car did not get approval, Robson said he understood why the team needed to keep some form of identity. "It's just the thing that engineering meets marketing, isn't it?" he said. "We all want the car to look stunning, which is part of the sport. But it's not just about the livery on the car, it sets the tone for the whole brand, which is clearly really important." He added, "For sure, it's a compromise. The car needs to have some visible personality about it. But at the same time, it's in the sponsor's interest to make it as quick as possible. Next time you watch an F1 race live, have a photo of each car's press release images to hand, just so you can see how much paint they've taken off. Some of them are absolutely shocking. Let us know when you do in the comments below. And while you're down there, please subscribe to F101, and I'll see you in the next video.